Welcome back. Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself sitting in a quiet home, listening to the steady tick of the clock, and asking yourself, is this all there is? Have you ever felt that slight ache, that subtle pang in your heart when you see neighbors enjoying a family barbecue and you're not? For many of us entering our later years, that silence can feel overwhelming. It can feel heavy. And it's important to understand it's not just about feeling a little down. Leading medical research, including studies from prestigious journals like JAMA, confirm that chronic loneliness can harm your health just as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's right, 15. It can raise your blood pressure, interrupt your sleep, and even start to affect your memory. But today, I want to speak to you not just as a doctor, but as someone who has walked with patients through these seasons, and I want to share a vital truth. I've witnessed firsthand there's a profound difference between being alone and feeling lonely. Learning to enjoy your own company on your own terms might just be the most powerful skill you can develop to unlock peace, freedom, and long-term well-being. This isn't just theory. I'll always remember Arthur, a patient of mine. After his wife passed, his children were living far away in California. During our first meeting, he looked down at his hands and said quietly, "Doctor, I feel invisible." He told me he spent his days sitting in his recliner, watching TV, just hoping the phone would ring. 6 months later, Arthur walked into my office transformed. He looked me in the eyes, sat tall, and said, "I'm busier than ever, and I've never been happier." And guess what? He still lived alone. Arthur didn't go out trying to meet new people. What changed his life were 6 simple, evidence-based strategies that helped him turn painful isolation into what psychologists call purposeful solitude. In this video, I'm going to walk you through those exact 6 steps. These aren't vague concepts. They're practical, doable actions you can begin today without spending a dime. And I encourage you to stay with me all the way through to number 6. Because that's the one Arthur swore made the biggest impact. A straightforward method to reconnect with the world, no noisy groups or awkward small talk required. Before we get into it, I'd love to hear from you. If any part of this story feels familiar, just type a simple yes in the comments below. That small word lets me and others know you're not alone. Okay, let's jump in. Strategy number 1, see solitude as a gift. Many of us fear silence, don't we? Since childhood, we've been taught that happiness only comes through being surrounded by others. A home filled with people, a table surrounded by loved ones, the sound of laughter echoing through the halls. It's a beautiful thing. But because we cherish that so deeply, the stillness of an empty house can feel unsettling. Maybe the kids have moved out, or a long, demanding career has finally wrapped up, and in that quiet, something can feel off. It can feel hollow, like somehow we've been left behind or missed the mark. That silence begins to feel like loneliness. But from my viewpoint as your doctor, I see it differently. For decades, 40, 50, even 60 years, your brain was constantly on alert, responding to your children's needs, answering emails from work, attending to your partner, managing the chaos of traffic. Your mind was in a near constant state of response, never really given the chance to simply rest, to just be. Psychologists describe a need our brains have to reflect, to sort through our lives, to make sense of our personal journey. And without stillness, that process can't happen. Instead, experiences keep piling up year after year until one day, we're drowning in emotions and stress we can't explain. This is often why feelings of emptiness emerge so strongly in our 60s and beyond. It's not a flaw. It's the result of a lifetime of training. You've likely spent most of your adult life giving, providing, solving, and you were incredible at it. But in all that, Many of us lose touch with the person we are when we're not doing things for others. Now, suddenly, you've been given something precious time, yet it feels like a burden because no one taught us how to just be with ourselves. And that's where the guilt creeps in. Does this sound familiar? You finally sit down to enjoy a good book. But your thoughts: race, I should be cleaning. I need to do the laundry. Maybe I should call someone. Or maybe you flip on the TV not to watch anything in particular, but simply to have background noise, to chase away the quiet, that uneasy feeling, that constant urge to do something. That's the symptom, and science helps explain it. There's a part of the brain known as the default mode network. It only fully activates when your attention isn't focused on the outside world. When you're sitting quietly, letting your thoughts drift, that's when this network comes alive. It's essential for helping your mind make sense of your memories, for processing emotions, and for shaping your deeper sense of identity. But when we're always chasing noise, we're depriving this vital part of our brain. This is why people who learn to welcome solitude often describe feeling more inspired, more centered, and mentally sharper. In essence, they are giving their brains a chance to recover. I'm reminded of one patient in particular, Margaret, a retired teacher and a truly wonderful person. She came to see me feeling, in her words, a bit blue. She said she felt guilty. I asked her why. Her answer: because she'd sit down with a novel at 9 a.m. and feel like she was being unproductive. We spent time discussing this idea of owning her time. Now, she lovingly calls 9 a.m. her sacred hour. She makes herself a cup of tea, puts on some classical music, and gets lost in a good book. With tears welling up, she told me, "Doctor, for the first time in 50 years, I don't have to rush for anyone." Her sense of peace didn't come from filling her schedule with more activity. It came from welcoming the stillness. So, here's what I'd like you to try. Just stop. Stop reaching for the remote out of habit. Stop judging yourself for not being constantly busy. The next time that uneasy quiet creeps in, I want you to just pause for a minute. Breathe. Then ask yourself a simple question. One you may not have asked in a long time: what do I truly want to do right now? Maybe it's pulling out those old paintbrushes you tucked away. Maybe it's finally tracing your family history. Or maybe it's just sitting by the window and watching the birds go by. Choose one, just one of those forgotten hobbies you never had time for. And let me be clear, this isn't about cutting yourself off from others. It's not about isolating. It's not selfish. It's about recharging. It's about filling your own cup so that when you are with your loved ones, you're not drained, you're calm, joyful, and fully present. Number 2, find meaning through personal rituals. This builds directly from the first idea. When you leave a job or start living on your own, that daily structure disappears. No more morning alarms, no evening commutes, no race to get dinner on the table by 5. So what happens? Days can start to blend into each other. Monday feels like Wednesday, and Wednesday feels like Saturday. That lack of routine can leave you feeling untethered, like a small boat without direction. And that's a quick road to feeling disconnected or out of balance. This is where rituals can transform your life. Now, I'm not talking about anything spiritual or complex. I'm referring to small, mindful actions you do regularly. Psychologically, these rituals serve as anchors. They ground your day and your mind. They send a powerful message to your subconscious. You are safe. There is order. Something comforting is on the horizon. These small practices can be surprisingly powerful acts of self-care. These rituals become promises you make to yourself, and honoring those promises, even quietly, builds your self-respect. Why does this matter so much now? Because many of your past routines were likely built around others making breakfast for your kids, driving them to school, sharing Friday dinners with your spouse, attending weekly work meetings. Now that those external routines are no longer there, that's okay. But you must create new inner routines, ones that are for you. This is how you reclaim your time. This is how you give your days a rhythm that feels uplifting and nurturing. If you find yourself waking up and staying in your robe until noon, if you catch yourself forgetting what day it is, or if you're carrying around a dull, constant sense of what's the point that is a sign, that's the sign of life without anchors. Of drifting and rituals, they're the remedy. The research on this is fascinating. Studies in the field of positive psychology and healthy aging have shown that older adults who maintain even the simplest, consistent daily rituals experience greater satisfaction and far lower levels of depression. Why? Because these small practices activate our brain's reward system. Just anticipating your favorite morning coffee brewed just the way you like it triggers a gentle release of dopamine. Following through on that ritual gives you a small, personal win. It's satisfying, and those tiny wins build on each other, day after day, forming a strong foundation of well-being. I'm reminded of a patient named David. He was a highly accomplished engineer. After retiring, he felt completely lost. His life had always revolved around structure, deadlines, and solving problems. He told me, "I feel like I have no purpose." So we worked together not to overhaul everything, but to give him a new kind of structure. Now, every morning, he grinds fresh coffee beans. He calls it making a proper cup of coffee. Then he sits down and does the newspaper crossword with a pen. He proudly adds, after that, he takes a 1-mile walk, rain or shine. He once told me, "Doctor, I know it's simple, but it gives me a reason to get up. It's my time." So let's build your ritual and start small. In fact, start tiny. Don't aim to transform your entire routine in one day. Maybe it's as simple as this. The moment you wake up, before you even step out of bed, take 5 slow, deep breaths. That's your ritual. Or perhaps, every Sunday, you treat yourself to a real meal, not a quick sandwich from the fridge, but something you've prepared with care, with a placemat and all. Or maybe, like David, it's a morning walk to welcome the day. Or maybe it's something in the evening, a nightly ritual, like 10 minutes of gentle stretching before bed, or lighting a candle, and simply sitting in stillness. The activity itself doesn't matter. What does matter is that it's done with intention, and it's done for you. This isn't about checking off a to-do list. This is a small celebration of self, a quiet message to yourself. I am worth this time. I'm curious, do you already have a morning ritual that sets the tone for your day? If you do, I'd love for you to share it. Drop a comment saying, "My ritual is..." You never know, your habit might be the one that sparks inspiration for someone else reading today. Number 3, commit to lifelong learning. There's a deeply damaging myth that still lingers in our culture. This idea that learning is something reserved only for the young. You go to school, you get a job, and then once you retire, your learning days are over. And so, supposedly, is your mental growth. Many people I speak with feel intimidated. They're unsure of new technology, uncomfortable with smartphones or computers. They worry their minds aren't as sharp as they once were. And so they ask, why even try? As your doctor, I want to be clear that mindset is one of the most harmful and inaccurate beliefs an older adult can adopt. Here's the scientific truth. Your brain isn't some fixed object. It's not static or set in stone. It's a living, adaptable, ever-changing organ. In medicine, we have a powerful word for this: neuroplasticity. It means your brain has the ability to reshape itself, form new connections, and grow right up to your very last breath. You've probably heard the phrase, use it or lose it. In this case, it's absolutely true. Each time you learn something new, whether it's a phrase in another language, a different cooking technique, or how to navigate a new app. You're actually rewiring your brain, you're strengthening it, increasing its flexibility, and helping it stay sharp and resilient. And here's what's so special. In your younger years, learning was usually tied to necessity passing exams, getting ahead in your career, helping with homework. But now, you have the chance to learn for the sheer joy of it. For curiosity's sake, for the pleasure of discovery. This isn't about chasing a diploma, it's about feeding your mind, because when you stop learning, your world can start to shrink. But when you keep learning, your world grows, your thinking expands, your curiosity deepens, and your connection to life becomes richer. If you've been feeling mentally sluggish, uninspired, or out of touch with the fast-changing world, that's a signal. It's your brain asking for stimulation, for something fresh to engage with. And the research on this is clear. Major studies from institutions like Harvard and the National Institute on Aging all agree seniors who engage in regular cognitive activities, whether it's picking up a new language, solving crosswords, reading history books, or learning to FaceTime with grandkids, show stronger mental health and a greater sense of fulfillment. They also face a much lower risk of memory decline and cognitive issues. It's truly like giving your brain a workout. You're actively preserving your memory and brain health for the years ahead. Let me tell you about Susan. She's 72. She told me she had always wanted to learn about ancient Egypt, but life raising kids, working full-time, always got in the way. So she finally took the first step. She walked to her local library and borrowed a single book. That's it, just one. Then, her granddaughter introduced her to YouTube. Now, she spends her mornings with a cup of tea, watching free documentaries and lectures from top universities around the world. She's become the family's go-to expert on the pyramids. She told me, "Doctor, I feel sharper and more interesting now than I did 10 years ago." But Susan wasn't just learning facts. She was building a new, more joyful and self-assured version of herself. And that's what I want for you. Be like Susan. Choose one thing, just one that's always sparked your curiosity. You don't need to enroll in a college course. Just visit your local library. That place is a treasure trove, and it won't cost you a thing. Borrow a biography of someone you admire. Grab a book about gardening. Watch a nature documentary. Download a free language app and learn 5 new words. Try a crossword. These are small actions, but they are deeply powerful. This isn't about performance or pressure. It's about enjoyment. If something doesn't interest you, let it go. Try something else. The goal is to reignite your sense of curiosity, to become a discoverer without even leaving your living room. It's kind of incredible, isn't it? The power your mind still holds. If this surprised or encouraged you, leave a comment that says, "Wow," below. Number 4. Rediscover peace through nature and movement. When we spend long stretches of time alone, especially during periods of low mood, it becomes far too easy to settle into that comfy recliner. That big chair can start to feel like a safe cocoon. But over time, it turns into a trap. You sit, then you sit some more. Before you know it, the day has slipped away. Your joints feel sore, your back gets tight, and your mood, it dips even lower. It's a loop I've seen so many of my patients get stuck in. You feel achy, so you avoid moving, but because you don't move, the aches only get worse. This is a basic truth about our bodies. They're built for movement. When you move even gently, your body produces an incredible blend of natural chemicals called endorphins. These are your body's own pain relievers, but even more importantly, they're natural mood lifters. At the same time, just stepping outdoors, even onto a balcony or a front porch, gives you exposure to natural light. When sunlight touches your skin, it triggers your body to produce vitamin D, a nutrient that's crucial not only for strong bones, but also for stabilizing your mood. And the fresh air, it literally changes your brain chemistry. It's a fast, natural mood booster, and it costs nothing. Now, hear me clearly. This part is important. When I talk about movement, I'm not telling you to sign up for a marathon. I'm not talking about lifting weights or joining some loud, overwhelming gym. For many people, over 65, a gym is the last place they want to be. And truthfully, it's not necessary. We're not training for a competition. We're just trying to live well. And to live well, what you need is simple, gentle, regular movement. That could mean a short walk, a few stretches, reaching down to water a plant. It's enough. It gets your circulation going. It loosens up your joints, even the creaky ones, and it clears your head. If you wake up stiff, or feel that constant low mood hanging over you, or if you just feel out of touch with the world, that's your body sending a quiet signal, please. Let's move. And the science backs this up over and over again. Research shows that gentle movement, like walking, is one of the most effective ways to manage mild to moderate depression no matter your age. And for older adults, combining movement with nature has even more benefits. There's a whole field dedicated to this. It's called ecotherapy. Just being in a natural space or even viewing one, like a tree outside your window or a plant on your windowsill, can lower your blood pressure. It also helps reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that weighs so heavily on our health. Nature, in a way, becomes a friend, a steady, calming friend that expects nothing but gives so much in return. One of my patients, Robert, comes to mind. A kind soul, but he was struggling. His knees ached, and he was grieving the loss of his wife. He spent his days sitting inside, not doing much. I didn't suggest a workout routine. I didn't even ask him to take a walk. I gave him a simple prescription, Robert. Just sit on your front porch for 15 minutes each morning. That was it. He followed through, and a week later, he told me he started noticing the birds. So, he bought a couple of small plants for the porch. He watered them each day. Then he began walking to the mailbox. Today, he walks around the block every single morning. He said to me, "Those birds and my little tomato plants, they're my friends. They were waiting for me." Let's take a lesson from Robert. Let nature into your life. You don't need to hike trails or climb hills. Just open the window. Listen to the birds. If you can, sit outside or take a slow walk to the mailbox and back. Take a moment to notice the sky. If you've got a small spot of sunshine, get yourself a flower pot and plant a single tomato. Just one. Water it. Tend to it. And watch it grow. It'll give you the beautiful reason to step outside each day. Here's a simple task for tomorrow. Step outside, stand still, take 5 slow, deep breaths of fresh air. That's your starting point. Are you with me? If you're ready to promise yourself just 5 minutes of fresh air tomorrow, type healthy in the comments below. It's a promise to yourself, and your body will thank you for it. Number 5. Practice gratitude and positive self-talk. This one matters more than most people realize. When you spend long stretches of time alone, your thoughts become your closest company. They become the loudest voices in the room. And for many of us, those voices, they're not kind. They're critical. They whisper things like, "You don't matter. No one checks on you. You've let people down. You're a burden. It's too late." We would never speak to another person that way, not even a stranger. And yet, that's how we talk to ourselves. That constant stream of negative self-talk, it's toxic. It's one of the deepest roots of loneliness. But here's the thing, your brain isn't doing this to be cruel. There's a scientific reason behind it. It's called the negativity bias, a leftover survival mechanism from our earliest ancestors. Our brains evolved to constantly scan for danger, to notice threats before anything else. It's how our species stayed alive. But now, when the danger is simply the quiet of an empty room, your brain doesn't know where to point its energy, so It turns inward and makes you the threat. This is where gratitude and positive self-talk come in. And no, they're not soft or silly ideas. They are clinical, proven tools. They're how you take control of the negativity bias. They retrain your mind to search for what's good, what's working, and what's still here. As we grow older, it becomes so easy to dwell on everything we've lost our energy. Our careers, our roles, our loved ones, the list can feel endless. And when that's all we focus on, of course, sadness follows. Of course it does. But gratitude is the courageous choice to focus instead on what still remains, on what continues to bring light. And positive self-talk is the decision to become your own supporter, especially now, when you need it most. If you notice yourself replaying old regrets on a loop, if you keep asking, what's the point? If you hear that quiet voice whispering, I'm just in the way, that's the inner critic talking. That's the symptom. But here's the hope. The science behind changing this pattern is incredibly promising. Dr. Robert Emmons, one of the leading experts on gratitude, found that simply writing down a few things you're grateful for each day can lead to higher happiness, lower depression, and even a stronger immune system. It's not some feel-good theory, it's hard biology. It shifts your focus and your brain chemistry responds. And when it comes to positive self-talk, it does something powerful. It quiets the fight or flight center of your brain, known as the amygdala. It literally helps calm you from the inside out. I think of my patient Helen. She was utterly convinced she was a burden to her children. She would apologize constantly. I'm sorry for calling. I'm sorry, I need a ride. So, I gave her a simple assignment. I said, Helen, I want you to buy a small notebook, just a basic spiral one from the dollar store. And each night, before bed, I want you to write down one good thing from your day. Just one. She told me later that it was surprisingly difficult at first. She had fallen so far out of the habit of noticing the good. Her first entry, the soup was hot. That was all she could find. But she stuck with it. A short phone call from my grandson. The sun came out for a few minutes. I saw a red bird on the fence. A month later, she came into my office with that notebook in her hand, filled with small moments. She looked at me and said, Doctor, I realize now my life is still full. So tonight, let's take a note from Helen. Find a scrap of paper or pick up a dollar store notebook. Write down one good thing, no matter how small. And the next time you hear that harsh inner voice, pause, just pause, and ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, then you're not allowed to say it to yourself either. And remember, this is not about pretending everything is okay when it's not. It's not about ignoring sadness or faking cheerfulness. That's not healthy. What it is about is balance. It's choosing not to let sadness or your inner critic be the only thing you hear, which brings us to number 6. Discover new ways to connect with the world. This takes us back to the core feeling we started with. I don't have friends nearby. I don't know where to meet people. I'm not the social type. That overwhelming sense of disconnection, it feels like everyone else has plans and you're just watching life happen from the sidelines. It's a painful feeling, one that my patient Arthur knew all too well. As human beings, we are wired for connection. It's part of who we are. But here's the secret one. I've only come to fully understand after many years in practice, connection doesn't need to look like a big social event. You don't need to be surrounded by a crowd. You don't need a dozen best friends. Connection, the feeling we all deeply long for, comes down to 2 essential things. Feeling like you're part of something larger than yourself, and feeling like you matter. That's it. Belonging and purpose. In your earlier life, those feelings came built in. You were part of a workplace team, part of a family, raising children every day. Your actions had meaning, you were needed. But now, many of those roles have faded, and that loss, it's real, it's significant. So now, We have to build new ways to feel connected and valuable. And these new paths often look a little different. They're keyter, more purpose-driven. This isn't about making a bunch of new friends, it's about discovering meaning. And interestingly, once you do, new relationships often come as a natural bonus. If you feel deeply alone, if you feel like you no longer have a role to play, that's a symptom. It's not a flaw. It's your inner self telling you you don't need a party. You need purpose. And the psychological evidence is incredibly clear. Among all the things a person can do, volunteering is the single most reliable way to improve happiness and overall well-being. When you help someone else, when you contribute, your brain releases a flood of feel-good chemicals. Suddenly, you have a reason to get up, a place to be. You become instantly useful again, instantly connected. And that brings us full circle to my patient Arthur, the man who once felt invisible, lost in silence. His turning point, this final strategy, what did he do? He didn't join a loud social club. He didn't start attending events just to make small talk. He began volunteering just 2 hours, twice a week. At the local library, his job, sitting in a quiet room, gently repairing torn children's books, using glue, tape, and care. He told me, "Doctor, I don't chat much with the others, but I know this. What I'm doing is letting a little kid read a book that would have been thrown away. I feel useful again." He didn't find purpose in noise, he found it in calm. So now I ask you, where could you be useful? Don't think about making friends. Think about making meaning. Could you spend a few hours at the food pantry, sorting donations? Help at your place of worship, folding weekly bulletins? Sit at the hospital information desk and guide visitors? Read to kids at the library, mend books? Like Arthur. Even a simple weekly phone call to a relative who's also alone, that's purpose. Just find one small way to give back this week. I know the idea might feel intimidating. I know the first step is the hardest, but remember, you're not signing a lifetime agreement. You're simply trying something, and if it's not the right fit, try something else. The goal is to open the door just a little and let the world back in, at a pace that feels right for you. And now, as we wrap up our time together today, I want to return to Arthur, the man who once sat in his recliner, feeling unseen and forgotten. Arthur still lives by himself. His home is still quiet, but he is no longer lonely. Today, Arthur is a reader, a quiet book mender at the local library, a walker who can name the birds in his neighborhood. As he once told me, with a small, contented smile, "I'm just busy living life on my own terms." What Arthur's story shows us, and what these 6 strategies reveal, is this: finding joy in solitude isn't something that just happens. It's not a stroke of luck. It's not magic. It's a choice, a daily choice. More than that, it's a habit, a practice. Like any muscle, the more you work at it, the stronger it becomes. If you remember just one thing from today, please let it be this: your worth as a human being isn't defined by how many friends you have or how packed your social calendar is. Your true value is found in the peace you create, the purpose you discover, and the kindness you show, starting with yourself. We've explored 6 meaningful strategies today, but as your doctor, I'll tell you the truth: information alone doesn't change lives. Action does. So here's my question for you. What is one small promise you're making to yourself, for yourself? After watching this video, maybe it's tonight, I'll begin that gratitude notebook. Maybe it's tomorrow, I'll step outside for 5 minutes of fresh air. Or maybe it's simply, I'll sit quietly by the window and let myself just be. Whatever it is, please share it in the comments below. It's a commitment to yourself, and when you post it, it might just encourage someone else to take their first step too. Let's support and inspire one another. And if something in this video brought you a moment of peace, a sense of hope, or even a smile, please give it a like. It helps more people discover this message and ensures you won't miss future videos filled with the same kind of encouragement and wisdom. Please consider hitting the subscribe button. It's more than a click. It's your invitation into a growing community, a circle of people committed to living wisely, peacefully, and with purpose. And finally, think of just one person, someone who might be sitting alone right now, feeling the way you used to feel. Share this message with them. You might give them exactly what they need most today. Thank you for spending this time with me. Please take good care of yourself, and I'll see you again in the next video.